It is Sunday school, and welcome to Sunday school. Don't I look all fresh and Sunday school teachery this morning? Well, I've been up since 6 o'clock, actually, working on my message today for the second day of ThelimaCon, which is taking place in North Carolina, live, but I'm presenting virtually. Anyway, had a wonderful time yesterday, even had a panel discussion and things like that. So I hope if you were part of that, that you enjoyed that. But like I do a lot, I procrastinate and I sort of wait to the last minute to do things. And so I had to get up today to work on my talk, which I'm just going to do here in like less than an hour. So I'm dressed up for two things today. Uh, I want to read you something that I wrote a number of years ago for my book, Low Magic, concerning the power of intent. Because so much of our magic work is done is sort of theoretical, and we argue about theoretical things. But for just lame people like our parents and our grandparents and things like that, always talked about the power of prayer. Okay. And I'll be praying for you, and I'll put you on the prayer list. And as corny as it sounds, and as much as we think of, there is no some cloudy guy in the sky that's listening to everybody's particular prayers and whose answers to 99.99.99999% is no. But there is this thing called power of intent, which if you projected sort of a cozy religious background to it, is pretty much like the answers to prayers, okay? This is chapter 3 of my book, Low Magic. Oh, would you listen to that? Hello. Hi, I'm right. I've just begun my 10 o'clock show. Okay, bye-bye. That was a good friend. Okay. It's called The Power of Attraction, or The Law of Attraction, and the Power of Intent. My date with Linda Kaufman. Linda, if you're out there, I think of you infrequently. Okay. Deepak Chopra. Intent is the mechanics through which spirit transforms itself into material reality. That is freaking heavier than it sounds, okay? In the last few years, I've heard a lot about the law of attraction and the power of intent. At the risk of being shunned and ridiculed by the more hardcore wizards of the occult community, I have to confess my deep and abiding respect for the works of Louise Hay, Deepak Chopra, Dr. Wayne Dyer, okay, among others, for bringing to a wider audience of seekers the fundamental secrets of true magic in ways that are understandable and acceptable to people of all spiritual backgrounds. Perhaps you don't think that such fluffy New Age pundits could be actually tossing around the supreme secret of the ages on public television, sandwiched between cooking shows and reruns of masterpiece theater. But they are. Magic may be the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will, but the mechanisms of that will can at least be partially described by the single word intent. Members of the Sovereign Sanctuary, the Gnosis, know very well the importance of the factor that intent applies in high magic. I digress. All right. Magical theory suggests that everything in the universe is the product of intent. I wouldn't dare to attempt to prove this vast and unprovable statement, and God's forbid I would dare open the absurd intelligent design can of imaginary worms. I will, however, not hesitate to point out how many things in our shared reality, objects, inventions, events, ideas, religious and political movements, even our views of time, can be demonstrably the direct and unambiguous products of intention. Take this book as an example, and I would wish you would take this book, or at least buy it. Gee. Take this book as an example. It is my intent to communicate a few of my thoughts and experiences concerning magic to as many people as possible. It's also my intent to earn some money in order to help keep a roof over my head and sustain a modicum of self-respect for myself and my family as I look to fast approaching years of my dotage. It is my publisher's intent, among other things, to provide a quality literary product in such a manner as to make the maximum profit from the minimum expenditure, and to provide information, entertainment to the book-buying public, especially individuals whose interests are in harmony with the publisher's philosophies and interests. Furthermore, it is the publisher's intent to keep his or her families of employees, subcontractors, printers, distributors, suppliers, etc., gainfully employed and contributing to the intended support and well-being of their families and communities, etc. As the reader, I'm assuming it is your intent, among other things, to enrich your life with the knowledge and ideas presented in this book, and to use this information and insight for your own intended applications. Magical intent has much in common with what we normally associate with the concept of willpower. It is, however, something much greater than the teeth-gritting power of concentration to force something to happen that it was otherwise not going to happen. Magical intent is more a matter of seeing what you truly want so clearly that your vision, indeed your love of that vision, creates a living entity. Faced with the birth of this new cosmic citizen on the creative plane, the universe has no alternative but to rearrange the conditions on the material plane to accommodate the complete manifestation of this now inevitable object or event, or creature or creation. You may find this hard to believe, but I learned the secret power of magical intent when I was 6 years old. The inspiration for my operation was my kindergarten classmate, Linda Kaufman. She was the most beautiful girl at George Washington Carver Elementary School in Lakewood, California. I always arranged to sit near her for rhythm band and finger painting. She seemed to enjoy my antics, especially my sophisticated ability to bark like a sea lion. I also had the pity factor working for me because for the first few months of my kindergarten year, I was forced by a serious hip condition to walk with the aid of crutches. I was insanely in love with her. And each night as I lay in bed, I fantasized how I would take her to the movies on a real grown-up date. I correct myself. It was not a fantasy. It was a vision of a perfect moment of love. A perfect vision of love given and love received. For months, I rehearsed the scene in my imagination. I'd be dressed in a suit and tie. I would somehow drive to her house, pick her up, and meet her parents. Her father would invite me into his den and offer me a cocktail, like they drink on the television show Topper, one of my favorite shows, with two alcoholic ghosts in it. Even their dog was an alcoholic, so they're always drinking cocktails. Marion wore a 1950s cocktail dress with no neckline at all, just came to the shoulders, exposing, well, never mind. Then Linda would appear in a pretty, like they drank on television. Then Linda would appear in a pretty new dress and we'd drive off to the movie theater. I'd buy us some popcorn. We'd find seats near the front and share our popcorn and giggle. It's a very clear vision. Then when the lights went down and the film began, she would take my arm, because I was too shy to do it myself, and put it around her shoulder. And she and I would snuggle close for the whole movie. It was a lovely dream, and I was determined to make it happen. During Christmas vacation, 1954, I approached my mother in the kitchen and told her I wanted to take Linda Kaufman to the movies. I ordered her to call Linda's parents right now and arrange everything. It was a bold move. I was conjuring a dangerous demon. My mother could be unpredictably violent and cruelly abusive. It was such an odd little request, little demand, however, that I think it caught her completely off balance. I didn't have the slightest doubt that she would obey my command. She stared at me at first for a moment, and then picked up the phone and called Linda's mother. They laughed and gossiped for what seemed like hours. When she hung up, it was a done deal. New Year's Day, 1955. It was a Sunday. The perfect day for Linda and me to see the new biblical epic, The Silver Chalice. Have you ever seen The Silver Chalice? It's Paul Newman and Virginia Mayo. Jack Palance played Simon the Magician. It was pretty cool. But I wasn't paying too much attention to it. Mom and my older brother Mark, he and his date would be our chaperones. waited in the car while I, dressed smartly in my Sunday school sports jacket and clip-on tie, knocked on the door of the Kaufman residence. Her dad answered and invited me in to his den and told me to sit down. "Would you like something to drink?" I couldn't believe what was happening. He poured us each a heavy highball glass of ginger ale and ice. I'd never tasted ginger ale before. Was this a cocktail? Linda soon appeared with her mother and spun around to show off her new dress. I was sure the ginger ale was taking effect. Everything, almost to the last detail, was happening exactly as I envisioned. And it didn't stop there. At the theater, my brother and his date followed discreetly behind us. I bought popcorn, and Linda and I found our seats near the front. We giggled and munched, and when the lights dimmed and the big Warner Brothers shield beamed at us from the silver screen, Linda Kaufman, my goddess, the love of my young life, grabbed my arm and put it around her shoulders, where it remained locked in sweaty, painful ecstasy for the next 2 hours and 22 minutes. At that moment, I knew that my mind, my dreams, had the power to make things happen. I knew there was some kind of living intelligence that hears the yearnings of my heart, of being a God with the power to bring into reality anything I imagined, anything I intend. However, it would take me the better part of the next 50 years to understand the nature of that power is love. And that without that vital ingredient in the recipe, my magic would always fall short of perfection. And that's the Sunday school lesson for today. And now I got to get on with other little projects today. I hope to see you tomorrow morning for Monday Morning Magic. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Intend. Find something, love it, and intend to do something with it. Until then, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.